Welcome to day 11 of 12 days of endurance. Before we begin, place one hand on your heart. Take a slow, deep breath in and release. You ready? Okay, here we go. Today we're talking about fruit that lasts, fruit that feeds, fruit that remains. Y'all, man, this has been so enriching to share these daily inspirational sips with you. You know, Jesus teaches in John, the 15th chapter, specifically verse 16, he says, I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit, but not just bear fruit, fruit that will last. Not fruit that will impress, not fruit that trends, not fruit that gathers applause, but fruit that remains. And lasting fruit grows slowly over time. And it requires patience. It requires faithfulness, humility. Fruit that remains is not built in moments. It's cultivated over seasons. And when fruit remains, it doesn't stay decorative, right? It becomes nourishment. We're not talking about that plastic bowl of fruit that sits on the counter. We're talking about that fresh from the garden, fresh from the farm, fresh that you pick off the tree, that fruit that remains. I remember one of my fondest childhood memories was going apple picking. It was our annual thing that we would do. We would go to the farm and we would walk around on the apple orchard and we would pick fresh apples. And to this day, I love apples. I love red. I love green. I love yellow, right? It's the fresh fruit that you pick from the tree that remains. In Matthew 25, Jesus identifies himself with the hungry, the thirsty, the stranger. And he tells us that when we feed the least of these, we are feeding him. Additionally, in Psalms 128, it describes the blessed life as one where fruit fills the house and overflows into generations. I'm thinking about that apple orchard again. Fruit that remains feeds others. We could literally go out and pick apples from the tree and eat them. We would shine them on our shirt, clean them off, and eat apples as we pick them to take home at the end of the day. So we were literally being nourished while we were picking the overflow of baskets to take home. Man, that's going to preach one day. You know, the fruit that remains feeds others, but it also strengthens households. It stabilizes communities. It nourishes futures that we may never see. And guess what? That's okay. We may not see the harvest of the work that we're doing now to its fullest potential, and that's okay. How my grandmother plowed in prayer for years, she unfortunately cannot see the fruit that remained, the harvest that's coming through my personal life. But guess what? She knew that God would keep his promises because he told her he would. So I want you to ask yourself today, what am I building that will still matter when the season changes? What am I nurturing that will outlive applause? Fruit that remains shows up in healed relationships, in restored trust, in stable leadership, in generational impact. Oh my God, that is my favorite thing right there. It also shows up in quiet obedience, sustained over time. Oh, I wrote a book about it. Want to hear it? Here it go. Temporary success impresses, but lasting fruit? Come on, somebody. It transforms. So I want you to close your eyes just for a moment and visualize yourself holding fruit in your hands. Now imagine offering it to someone else, because fruit is not meant to be hoarded. It's meant to be shared. And you were not strengthened just for yourself. You were formed to nourish others. So, today is an act of love. This is day number 11 for 28 days of love. Is literal nourishment. I want you to provide a meal. I want you to send groceries. I want you to offer resources and feed someone in a tangible way as I sit here and my stomach is growling. You can send me a plate. No, I'm just playing. And if not physically, then spiritually or emotionally. Encourage, invest, pour into someone who cannot pay you back quickly, because fruit that remains multiplies long after you move on. Here is another reflective question as I close today. What kind of fruit do I want my life to be known for? When people speak of me years from now, what will have lasted? Let this be your prayer today. Lord, help me to cultivate what remains. Let my life nourish more than just myself. Help me to remain connected, remain faithful, remain rooted, because fruit that remains will feed generations. I'll see you tomorrow for the final day of 12 days of endurance.